this afternoon.
Thank you, David. Pleasure to be here with you. Yes, Jersey's involvement did end this afternoon with a tight loss to the English. But it is great that we can be here tonight, hopefully to see some fantastic badminton. We see the standard really ramping up now as we get later on into the tournament.
That's not a good start, is it, from Renuga Varane, dropping her racket on the way in. Yeah, everybody taking their photographs. Lots of selfies have been taken after the matches. Here's the lady I describe as the grand dame of Indian badminton, Jwala Gutta. Now 30 years of age, a left-hander, an outstanding doubles player, and has had a terrific career, highlighted by that gold medal in front of her adoring fans in Delhi 4 years ago. There's confirmation of the lineup, and we've got two right-handed, left-handed combinations because the Aussies have in Tang Hee Tian, a former Chinese international who played in the Olympic Games in Atlanta in 1996, winning a bronze medal. Umpire for our first evening match is Richard Bramley from New Zealand. Yashwinder Singh Bedi from Scotland will be his service judge. So we've certainly, Nathan, in Jwala and Tang got some experience out there.
Certainly, there's some fantastic experience. Certainly in Tang, ex-Chinese international, as you said, competed and medalled at the '96 Olympics in Atlanta. I actually watched her in training earlier this week in Australian camp as I was taken there to do a little bit of sparring with their squad, and she's still in fantastic shape, and she really is a consistent player, so I expect there to be some really long rallies in this ladies doubles.
Jwala Gutta, now 30 years of age, living in Hyderabad, having been born in Sivagram in the Maharashtra state. Her partner, 24 years of age, from Bangalore. The winners of this title 4 years ago. They were also bronze medalists at the World Championships in London in 2011, and still playing terrific women's doubles, currently ranked at 21 in the world. But it has to be remembered that Jwala Gutta took a year off basically after the 2012 Olympics before deciding to return. Here is Tang Hee Tian, who was born in Chongqing and now lives in Melbourne. She retired from the sport after those Olympic Games in Atlanta, moved to Australia, decided to come out of retirement actually for the Delhi Games, and now still playing terrific badminton at the age of 38. Her partner is 28, Renuga Varane, who was born in Kuala Lumpur and now lives, like her partner, in Melbourne. Now, the Indians, of course, they were playing in the team competition, which they just missed out on a medal, coming fourth behind Singapore. But they haven't played a match in the individual competition because their first round opponents withdrew. But Tang and Varane, well, they did have a match, a very friendly match against the players from the Norfolk Island, which has been one of the lovely tales. The
ready, please.
Somewhat veteran players from the Norfolk Island, but it's been a great story that they made it here at all, Nathan.
Oh, it is. They've certainly entertained the crowds. They've given 200% energy. I mean, they've been diving around and really enjoying the whole experience, and they've had standing ovations walking off the court. They're probably not got the quality we normally expect at an international tournament, but they've certainly been entertaining. But now it is down to business for these two pairs, and I expect this to actually be quite a close match. Even I have the Indians as really one of the favourites for the gold medal. The Australians certainly have got enough weapons to trouble them in this match.
Yep, we're certainly hoping for a fine start to the evening session. Yeah, that's well protected, the knees of Tang.
It looks like we have one good knee out of 4 on court. But it is a sport which is certainly cruel on the knees. You see it often with players with knee strapping during matches.
I hope you've got 2 good knees, Nathan, because I've got 2 steel knees, 2 artificial ones.
Mine have been okay since retirement.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Jala Gupta, Ashwini Ponapala, India. On my left, Tang Hee Tien, Renuga Viren, Australia. Tang Hee Tien to serve to Jala Gupta, level. Play.
Strong start by the Australians. With the Indian pair, we have what I like to call a creator and a worker on the court, with Ponappa really working and Gutta really trying to create the rallies and create the openings. Well, they are prone to the errors as well, so we'll see how consistent the Australians can be.
It's over. 1.
Did you describe yourself as a worker in mixed with Gail?
I think you have to be a worker as a man, even though in doubles I certainly like to think of myself as a creator around the net and someone who would find the space. But in mixed doubles, you know, you can be a bit of both, but you certainly can't get away without the work in mixed doubles as a man.
Oh, that's nice.
2 all.
Even though Ponappa is more of a slight build, she has actually probably the biggest smash on court. Really a hard clean hitter from the rear of the court. The Australians already look like they're trying to play to the centre of the court quite a lot with a left and right-handed defence, sometimes an area which can cause confusion.
It's over. 3 all.
Flick serve not working there for Viren. Terrific power.
It's over. 4 3.
I do think the Indian pair will try and isolate Renuga Viren as Tang's so consistent. And I think they'll have seen that and seen previous matches they've played in tournaments and in this tournament also in the team event, that Tang is the more consistent player on court and certainly the more with a solid defence.
The Indians take the lead for the first time.
Play.
Lovely change of direction there on the return by Viren.
All.
And that one's gone along the push return by Ponappa, giving the lead back to the Australians. It's a little bit of a cagey opening though at the start here.
Yeah, hardly any rallies of length so far.
I would have been expecting more long rallies. We've got 4 players with quite high quality defences, so in this big arena I'd be expecting a lot of long rallies in this ladies doubles. service judge deeming Viren's racket head to be above the shaft there when she struck the shuttle.
Has to be pointing in a downwards direction.
Such a difficult job to be a service judge. The margins are so tight. Wouldn't like to be sitting in that chair.
It's over. 8-6.
Yeah, should have played it on the backhand.
It's over.
Again,
Seven.
the players don't seem settled on defence yet. Really struggling with their timing and really getting in position early enough. And a swing and a miss by Gutter at the net there.
7.
She is very dangerous with that left hand and does read it well, but missing there. Just swinging, taking off the frame. And good combination by the Australians. Tang from the rear, setting up for a partner.
7.
Opening up a gap of 3 points here in the first game.
It's over.
Yeah, it's a strange sort of opening.
10.
All a little nervy.
I do think both pairs know that there's a danger on the other side of the court. Certainly the Indians are favourite, but they know there's a quality coming from the Australians.
It's over. 11.
And that's the lead for the Australians at the mid-game interval. I was speaking to the Australian coach in the training camp, and this is the Australians' hope for a medal, the ladies' doubles. This is their big hope, so they'll certainly be encouraged by this start.
Sometimes don't think too much when the shuttlecock. You just understand how to play this. Okay?
Don't still be afraid to flicker. You can do what you want. It's up to you. But just because there's one thing, just because of the height of the shot, everything is all right. And just get yourself in position on that crossbar. You just need to get yourself in position. And if you lift on the pressure, give yourself some time. But you're doing well.
Good play the right there.
Ah, getting a close-up view. His Royal Highness Prince Edward, the
Court 2.
Earl of Wessex,
20
of course,
seconds.
who's a
Court 2,
patron of badminton
20
in Scotland
seconds.
and Vice President of the Commonwealth Games Federation. Enjoys his badminton.
You could hear the Australian coach there telling Renuga Viren to get low, get ready on defence on the cross court.
Play.
That's a Bungor alongside Ricky Yu.
It's over. 9-11.
Straight away after the break, you can see a little bit more emotion by the Indian pair. Probably were told to just pick up their intensity in the break.
And they've certainly done that.
Yeah, and there's that cross smash again onto Veer, and she's really struggling to decide which grip to take it with. She's gone for the forehand again, but it's gone right across. I think she'd be better served on the backhand or stepping over or moving a bit earlier.
All.
So very quickly the three-point advantage is wiped out.
There's the combination again. Tang hard smash down the middle, giving the opportunity to Renuga Viren at the net. Good movement, killing it round the head. And a fantastic cross-court block this time.
14.
This time ready on defence. I'm sure they're advising her from the back of the court, even after the break, when they see her getting caught out. This time the backhand's early, straight cross-court.
And although she lost the point, there were a whole series of good backhand defensive blocks from Viran in that game, that rally.
No, they're defending a lot better at the moment, the Australians, really making the Indians work, which I'm sure was the plan.
That's wide.
There are a few overhead errors coming from Panapa, which is quite unusual. She's normally very steady from the back, very consistent, reliable. But she does do a lot of the attacking, so she does have to work. She probably does 75% of the work around the rear of the court compared to a partner.
That sustained attack, very effective.
Fantastic movement forward,
16.
really positive.
12.
Three-pronged attack by Tang here. One from the rear, one from the mid-court, finishing at the net. We train that all the time. It very rarely happens in a game, but when it does, works perfectly.
It's over. 13, 16.
And smashing onto Tang's forehand down the centre. High smash, dangerous. Tang drove it straight back through Jwala Gutta. Couldn't do anything on the crouch. Australians with the biggest lead of the game now, 4 points. I think that's a string gone by Ashwina Panapa. Just checked her racket.
And remarkably well to stay in the point.
She did. She had to get to the net. When a string breaks in the middle of a rally in doubles, you either have to get to the net or you have to get off and get a new racket, which is extremely difficult, and you have to be super fast. I never had that ability, so I always just played on with the broken racket.
We've had that a couple of times during the course of the tournament. I noticed that Ashwini didn't have a spare racket on the box.
Yeah, I think it tends to be the male players who like to do that. Certainly the men's doubles players look at it as a bit of a showpiece to switch rackets in the middle of a rally.
It's over. 14, 18.
Perfect lift, but just going a fraction long.
And it's Jwala Gutta at the back this time.
15, 18.
Will be coming down from a different height and a different pace than a partner. Maybe that just caught out Tang on the backhand defence. And a couple of mistakes by the Australians, just allowing the Indian pair back into this first game. That one is wide again by Panapa. This is a huge first game for the Australians. For their confidence, I'm not sure. I think the Australians could come back after losing the first. And there's the combination which we really haven't seen a lot of in this first game. Panapa smashing Jwala Gutta's dangerous forehand at the net, but we haven't seen that enough from the Indians.
Change of shuttle.
Play.
So after 14 minutes,
20. Game point. 17.
the Australians reach game point. Oh. How strong is the drift?
It's over.
Look, you've been down courtside, you've observed it.
20.
Yeah, I was down early. I didn't think there was a lot of drift, to be honest. I think it's a fair haul. It's, you know, you can't feel a lot of the wind in the hole. You know, certainly, and that's the first game for the Australians on a net court as well from Tang. The push, the backhand push, just clipping the top and fooling Jwala Gutta.
First game won by Tang Hitian and Renuga Viren, 21-18.
So that opening game taking 15 minutes.
So be ready. Careful, keep okay. यहाँ जो काली तेरे को ड्रॉप मार रही है, फिर तेरे ऊपर इधर ना स्मैश बाय तू रेडी रहे. ड्रॉप शीज ना फिर तेरी क्रॉस कर लेगी. हाँ, ठीक है ना? अब अटैक कर.
You don't run back. You're keeping. Okay, I won't hit her.
I'm joking.
Marumita Bisht out with the Indians, who are having as much of a conversation amongst themselves.
I think the Indians are concerned here, obviously. I think in Delhi, when they went on to win the gold, maybe they weren't the favourites and they kind of came in the blind side with a home crowd. But here, I know a lot of people have put them as favourites for the gold. And they were beaten in the team event by a strong Singapore pair and lost the first game here, so there'll certainly be doubts entering the minds of the Indians. And they certainly won't be getting any nerves by Tang. She's been there, done that. She's been an Olympian medalist, and she looks to be enjoying this match a lot and her role in this partnership with Renuga Viren.
Second game, level. Play.
And a huge aggressive kill by Jwala Gutta at the net.
Over. 1.
Massive swing, doesn't she take?
Trying to stamp her authority on this game from the start.
Love.
Two very simple mistakes by the Australians, two return errors. And they don't want to give the Indians much confidence here, or they can go away. They are a confidence pair, certainly Jwala Gutta. When she gets confident, she can be a very deadly player. She can hit winners from any part of the court. But they stopped the rot there.
3.
There's that power smash of Bonappa.
She really does hit a clean smash.
1.
And there it is again. The Indians are getting into what they would want to play at the start. This would have been their plan. Panapa attacking from the back. She very rarely lifts it, very rarely clears it from the rear of the court, Panapa, and keeps working hard until she gets the opportunity for Gutta at the net.
Six. 1.
And another simple mistake by Tang.
7.
And I'm sure this is exactly what the Australian coach was, you know, talking to them, trying to make them avoid. A solid start to the second game. Don't give them anything too easy to get back in. They've given them 4 mistakes now for an easy 6-point lead for the Indian pair.
Play.
And a misjudgment as well.
1.
Service was well in.
Jwala Gutta's service action is one of the most unusual on tour, and it's so hard to read. I remember playing against it, and because it's very rare that we see a forehand serve now in the world of top-level badminton, and it's so difficult to see her flick serve down the line, down the middle, the one she won with on the previous point. As Panapa lets the Australians off there with a mistake, but we've had a total reversal of the momentum of the match.
9-2 despite that mistake.
Is there anything you can see that the Indians have changed since? I can't see anything. I think that the Australians maybe have just dropped only slightly.
Well, they made those poor mistakes, didn't they, in the first, on the second and third points of the game, and they've never quite recovered.
It doesn't take much when the pairs are so evenly matched, to give the momentum to the other pair. And the swing again by Gutta at the net.
9.
Off the frame, into the middle of the net. That is the danger when you do take a big swing. When she's on form, all those shots come off and she hits winners all over the court, but when she's not quite on, the mistakes do come from the racket.
She's not going to stop doing it, though, is she?
No, just to show us, there you go, clean, straight winner. But it's so difficult to get it away from that forehand. Because of the power of Panapa's smash. So difficult to hit a high cross-court one, keep her moving around the back.
That's good defense from Viran.
Those gaps are there for the Australians to hit, but they have to be so ready. And that flick serve much too low by Renuga Viran. Panapa hardly had to move backwards to attack that straight back at her.
So what a change around. 11-4, the Indians lead. She's quite a character, isn't she?
Still very animated, the Indian coach. Must be a lot happier, though. After the first game, it didn't really look... The Australians were commanding it and dominating it.
It's that service action you were talking about.
It's very level, the shaft of the racket and the head. But it's so difficult for the umpire to call a fault, because they very rarely see a forehand serve.
And they need to win some points fast if they're going to get back into this game, the Australians. Instead, they've lost the last 3.
It's over.
And again, we haven't seen the long rallies we were maybe expecting at the start of the match. I do think that the game's a little bit error-strewn, and whichever pair doesn't make the most errors is likely to come out on top here. 7-point lead, but that is possible to claw back.
Oh, that's a lovely touch.
And that is a fantastic drop shot by Renugavir, and deceptive. Dropping to the right side in front of Joala Gutta. Landing in front of the service line. Very ambitious cross-court net shot by Renugavir, and especially when Joala Gutta's standing there on a forehand side. That would have had to have been perfect, or I think that would have been killed back through her.
Managed to get Gutta trapped at the back of the court for quite some time.
And that would be a tactic the Australians would use, but it is difficult to keep her at the back of the court, so she's so keen to move forward, Joala Gutta, that when she's playing any flat shots or block shots, then she's automatically moving forward and leaving the rear of the court for her partner. The Australians again struggling to get it away from that combination. In a lot of doubles partnerships and pairs, you do have what we like to call a worker and a killer, one who's really net dominant. The Indian pair really are. In ladies doubles, I think the Indian pair probably are the most one-sided in that regard, as far as with Ponnappa just being the worker, very rarely gets to the net. Joala Gutta at the net. This time the flat flick was read by Renugavir, and she was back quickly, smashed it straight back through Joala Gutta.
Nice anticipation this time by Varane.
15.
They're really looking to move before the shuttle was hit, taking the opportunity with a left and right-handed partnership. The right-hander can always look and favour the forehand side, knowing their left-handed partner is moving forward on their forehand side also. Hit return this time by Renugavir, and coming off the frame. Not quite sure the shoelaces were to blame for the mishit personally. I think that's just taking a little bit of time. Bit of composure. Good counter-attack here. Renugavir and Ponnappa going for the drive, but much too high.
Well, there's a rare moment for Ponnappa at the net, doing it very nicely.
18-10.
And the Indians looking full control of this game. Not sure I see a way back for the Australians. I think we're heading for a third game, and another wild return by Renugavir, and she's trying to be deceptive there to push it wide.
10.
But again, pushing it well clear of the sideline.
There's that combination again.
20. Game point.
It's
10.
game points for the Indians.
Game.
Very comfortable second game there for the Indians, and it's
Second game won by
really a
Charlotte
change of
Thompson.
momentum from the
Ashwini
first to the second game.
21-10.
The Australians have got to have a totally change of tactic here because they let the Indians completely control that game. They were into their stride. Tough job for the Australian coaches now to pick up their players.
How to do it and how to push around, but they're getting it too much. Like, what do we do on the returns, and what do we do in the how do we get up there so they don't lift it?
Return the side circle were very important time because we were playing again.
You've got to get her in. You've got to get, even though she's got to flip it, we've got to get in there. Just with something kind of, we've got to push it further up to the net. That they can just plug in and start to lift. We've got to do that now. And also on when she's a little bit of push, we've got to step into the court and stop this madness about her just hitting.
First say okay, but no worry, because like a return to me like tricky and mistake too much. Just like a safe doesn't leave first, and we defense and find way. Yeah, we need the first for safe for the return because we lose points too fast. All for the return the second.
But it's too easy for them. We agree on that. Like, too easy just to block it for us to come in now. We've got to stop that. We've got to get those lifts ourselves and play her. Pure shot, drop shot. We've got to get in. The only way is to push forward.
Very animated. That's a Bundagor.
Well, he is really trying to emphasise to the Australian pair that they need to get to the net. They need to be earlier to the net, whether it's on the returns, really committing themselves to the returns, or either on defence to block at the net, because as he says, the Indians, it's so easy for them at the moment. Panapa attacking, Joala Gutsa now, you know, she's found her range at the net, and she was, you know, killing 50% of the points in the second half of that second game. And they need to get out of that. First 5 or 6 points, so important to the Australian pair. This game could go away from them quickly unless they change it round.
1 love.
Again. Another very poor service return from Viran, and they've given away the first 2 points.
And that's 3. That one's gone along of the rear line. And this is exactly what their coach was telling them not to do, to give the easy returns away. Well, I did say the first 5 or 6 points. I think we've played about a minute of this third game, and the Indians are running away with it.
Desperately needed to win that point, and now they really need to win 2 or 3 more.
4.
And that's a great combination by Tang, driving it straight down
2.
with her left hand down the line, following it forward and crossing it. They've got to be aggressive, the Australians. And that's drifted wide on the defence by Tang.
5.
They have to find a way to kind of negate Ponapa's attack, because at the moment she's attacking at will, and their defensive confidence seems to be lacking at the moment.
It's over. 3, 5.
Missed it. Oh, it was a huge opportunity.
The gap was there for Gutta, pushing it with the backhand down the line. Oh, wide open space. It didn't need to be that close to the line. would have been a winner even on the inside line. Oh, and she's mad about that one. That wasn't easy. The push from Panapa was coming up to Tang there. Easy backhand just to push that down. They would have been back on the attack. But they've steadied the ship since the Indians took a strong lead.
And that's the story of the second game. Panapa setting it up. And Gutter putting it away.
And caught there again, indecisive. Which side to stand on, forehand or backhand? The Australians are desperately trying to push Panapa's smash back a little bit harder, not trying to give Gutter the chance at the net. This time she finds the gap on the forehand. The cross-court smash was the wrong choice by Tang. Gutter with the big forehand swing, but into the open court. That is so simple for the Indians.
10-4.
Even though she's not moving off the tee, sort of the tee section of the court, it's still so difficult to get it away from her.
Once
Changes.
Brilliant challenge that looked so strong at the end of the first game is frankly fading away.
For me, it was Renuga Viren's defence again. I think that they were trying to really pick on. She just has that element of being indecisive.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
There's the worker again, and again, poor defence from Viren.
And it will take a huge effort here by the Australians to change the momentum of this match. They really need to somehow get themselves on the attack. And a fantastic rally this time. Viren pushing the drive defence cross court. Tang following it up with the forehand kill. I would like to see the Australians playing a little more net, but it is difficult to Jwala Gutter.
Service called. Service over. 12-5.
Renuga Viren called for the second time in the match. For the same reason, the racket head being above the shaft of the racket.
Play.
And it's the body smashes which is really struggling with. You see most players really taking backhand a lot of the time around the body. Renuga Viren really struggling to decide if she wants forehand or backhand. And this time it's Gutter from the back with the power, and Panapa pushing it straight back. Racket ready. Very simple technique, but effective.
Well, the lead up to 10, and surely there's no way back for the Australians now.
I think the Australians are looking like a beaten force currently. The movement seems to have dropped out of them, the speed of the play, and certainly the defensive confidence. The Indian pair attacking at will at the moment. so difficult doubles when the confidence in defence has gone.
6 points in a row for the Indians. Make that 7.
Sometimes the way to get back in a game is by opening up the game, going long into the corners with defence, but you know, with a broken confidence on defence, it's really difficult for these girls to even find a way back into the rallies, and they're just letting the points go quickly now, and they've run away with this, the Indian pair.
Perfect flick serve. Wonderful situation to be in. 15 match points.
Total dominance by the Indian pair in this third game. And Jawala Gutta going for the show-stopping cross-court reverse smash to finish with. She does like to hit the winner, the last one of the match, I'm sure.
Won't get the chance to this time. The gold medalists of 4 years ago looked under real threat at the end of the first game. But from there on in, they lost merely 16 points in the next 2 games. A total transformation. And through to the quarterfinals go Gutta and Ponappa. And in the next round, they will play either the Sri Lankans, Ratnasiri and Weerasinghe, or the New Zealanders, Rankin and Stapleton. And they'll start pretty firm favourites, whoever then it is.
Well, I think this is one of the matches they would have seen as a huge threat on their path through to a medal. And they've overcome that, a slow start, picked their speed up and really showed what a force they're to be reckoned with later on in this tournament. The Australians just weren't able to maintain their level throughout the 3 games.
Yeah, plenty of Indian fans in the crowd. Plenty of fans from every nation are out there, yeah. And the high fives all the way down.
And the Indian pair, they will be relieved to get through that one. Certainly would have been a shock to lose that first game.
There's confirmation of the scoreline, 18-21, 21-10, 21-6. The defending champions through to the quarterfinals. And we'll have those quarterfinals in 2 sessions tomorrow. The first in the afternoon, the second in the evening. Semi-finals are Saturday morning, the bronze medal playoffs Saturday night, and then the gold medal matches all on Sunday. Let's have a look back at the highlights of that opening match of the session.
Yes, well, the Indians walking on. I do think they were a little bit sluggish in that first game. And the Australians are up to speed. You can see them attacking a lot in the first game. Tang being very aggressive. We did say the first set was a little bit cagey, and the Australians came out on top. But we didn't see the Australians at the net really at all in the second or third game. They couldn't get hold of the game. Total dominance by Ponappa and Gutta. The Australian spirit was broken. The Indians rose in confidence. And it was one-way traffic for the final 2 games. If the Indian pair can maintain that second and third game level, they will be one of the favourites for the gold.
That was the moment of victory and the look of delight on the face of Jwala Gutta.